In 1964, the entire world cinematic landscape would forever change when Sergio Leone, Clint Eastwood, and Ennio Morricone made A Fistful of Dollars. The film was an immediate success in Europe and would later become a significant hit in America and launch Clint Eastwood to a 60-year career of superstardom. Prior to Leone, the Western was a uniquely American genre, focusing on larger-than-life heroes, relatively casual violence, and beautiful landscapes. Leone found his hero and story in Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo, which would later be unofficially remade by Sergio Corbucci as Django. And the violence in Leone's film was even more brutal and immediate. But for landscapes, Leone had to get creative. He didn't have access to Monument Valley the way John Ford did, so instead he turned to Europe's only desert. Tabernas Desert in southern Spain. That's where I am now, so please join me as over the next few days I'm going to be visiting the 3 Western theme parks that have some of these old movie sets intact. That's Oasis Mini Hollywood, Fort Bravo, Texas Hollywood, and Western Leone. And also join me as I hike and drive around this beautiful countryside looking for more movie locations that I recognize. The Tabernas Desert is located in Almeria in Andalucia in the south of Spain, near the Mediterranean Sea. It's an area known for beautiful beaches and significant archaeological history. Even prior to the birth of the spaghetti western, it enjoyed a reputation as a Hollywood of Europe, seeing portions of epics Lawrence of Arabia, Cleopatra, and El Cid filmed there. Since A Fistful of Dollars, this reputation has only grown through films like Conan the Barbarian, Patton, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I'm here at Fort Bravo, Texas Hollywood, or the outskirts of it anyways. It's one of the 3 theme parks that's maintained some of the classic spaghetti western sets, and I'm going to walk through it in a bit. I've actually already walked through it a little bit, but I haven't seen everything there is to offer. I'm here at the archway from Once Upon a Time in the West. This is almost certainly a recreation if you look at it up close, but this is, of course, the archway from the famous climactic flashback in which Frank hangs Harmonica's older brother, and this is a wonderful scene where everything in that film comes together, so pretty special place at any rate. As my first experience of the 3 Western theme parks, Fort Bravo was awesome. There was a lot of neat stuff to see. The saloon was a wonderful place to grab a cold estrella, and the stunt show was really neat. It was awesome to see someone dragged by rope on a horse. That was pretty cool. I've never seen that in person before. However, as a destination for spaghetti western fans, it's proven difficult to verify some of these locations as things that were shot for these movies. Inside the saloon, there are a number of movie posters and stuff suggesting that these movies were shot here. And I have no doubt some of them were, but the locations would be more recognizable in the other 2 theme parks, and overall I felt Fort Bravo, Texas Hollywood, it did have an aura of recreation. For instance, the military fort, initially I thought it might be the military prison where Tuco is tortured in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's clearly not it. It might be the work camp from Kill Them All and Come Back Alone, but I doubt it because it would have changed quite a bit. At any rate, I had a lot of fun here, but there would be better experiences in the future. If you were to park just outside of Oasis Mini Hollywood and follow your way down some very, very janky looking stairs, almost ladder like, into this valley in the desert, you would find yourself in some of the most picturesque hiking locations I've ever been to. This is the first place I went to when I arrived. This was day 1. This was also where I spent the morning of day 3 prior to going to Oasis Mini Hollywood. As you might expect, just being in the middle of the desert, it's also hard to find exact locations, but here's some of my best inferences and some clips from some classic movies.
And now I'm at the highest point I've been in quite a while. If you can see behind me, there's Fort Bravo, Texas Hollywood, where I was yesterday. And yeah.
There was one unmistakable movie location, though, and it didn't come from a spaghetti western, but from the 1962 epic Lawrence of Arabia.
This is, I believe, the only scene from Lawrence of Arabia filmed out here, because the rest was filmed in, I don't know if it was Jordan or maybe in North Africa, but yeah, definitely not around here so much. So. Getting a bit of a panorama here from kind of the heart of the Oasis. See, beyond those trees over there is where I last filmed. And as you see, we're kind of in our own little world here. Trees in every direction. And look at this. One of Peter O'Toole's beer bottles. He was drunk on set, folks.
While A Fistful of Dollars may have been the first spaghetti western, it was Leone's follow-up film, For a Few Dollars More, that truly established it as a genre to be imitated by Italian filmmakers, much like later films Dawn of the Dead, Escape from New York, The Road Warrior, Alien, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Christ, who's counting? The sets constructed for A Fistful of Dollars did not survive because it wasn't until the film's success that filmmakers and studios took notice.
Bulletproof vest! Great flick! Great friggin' flick! The guy is brilliant!
By 1965, the genre had reached its heyday with the release of not just For a Few Dollars More, but also A Pistol for Ringo, which retained Ennio Morricone, recognizing his music as a perfect auditory representation of the Old West. The 3 theme parks in the Tabernas owe their life to For a Few Dollars more than any other film, and that film's influence and iconography is all over Oasis Mini Hollywood.
Here at Mini Hollywood, first impressions, definitely feels like a theme park. Like when you enter, there is a little bit of like a, I don't know, like a Six Flags Cedar Point type entrance. And yeah, I'm just getting in now, but I'm already impressed with it.
Get 3 coffins ready.
Huh?
My mistake. 4 coffins.
I did not realize this before I went, but Oasis Mini Hollywood is clearly the gold standard when it comes to the Tabernas Spaghetti Western movie theme parks. It had absolutely everything. The filming locations and buildings were instantly recognizable. There was so much to offer in terms of entertainment. There were can-can dancers in the saloon that did sort of a traditional 19th century kind of Belle Epoque can-can dance, as well as they did a number to like Ennio Morricone music, which was really neat. There was a cinema museum. And of all of these 3 parks, this is the one that I think you can truly spend an entire day in. Because in addition to all that it has to offer in terms of movie sets and film history, it's also a zoo. And I think it had a pool or maybe even a water park area as well. But I barely even scratched the surface of the animals. I really enjoyed the cactus garden, which was really neat. They had cacti from all over the world. Oasis Mini Hollywood is the real deal. If you get a chance, I would highly recommend going. If I lived in Spain, and there is a chance that I will in the near future, I would go there all the time. I had only one theme park remaining, and this one in particular holds a great debt to perhaps my favorite film of all time. The centerpiece of Western Leone is, of course, Sweetwater, the McBain farm that later becomes home to Claudia Cardinale in Once Upon a Time in the West. I've also come to learn that a great deal of Kill Them All and Come Back Alone was shot here, and this theme park resembles the other two in many ways. It has the same kind of Western streets that you might expect, but obviously with the McBain farm as the centerpiece, now acting as a saloon, it's a lot of fun. I was initially quite unimpressed with this. It was looking like it would be my least favorite of the 3 for quite a while, and then it did get more lively later on. While the shows at the other parks focused more on stunts, this focused more on acting and comedy, and it was quite entertaining. It was also very intimate because it was performed all in the saloon with only about, this was because it wasn't crowded, but only about a dozen people around to watch it, but everyone got a great view. It was nice. It was a lot of fun.
So the McBain farm itself, Sweetwater, the house here, it appears to be bigger in the movie, and in fact there's a painting inside this house now saloon that kind of confirms that. They had a show at 12:30 inside the saloon, which was great. A lot of great audience participation. They actually pulled someone up and had her act, someone probably in her early 20s, and they played cards with her, and then eventually they shot her. And it makes me think that maybe they might have talked to her ahead of time, because she she reacted perfectly with the timing of being shot. But it was very funny. No, it was great. Like all the other shows I've seen, it's in Spanish, as one would expect. But yeah, I've kind of done a 180 on this place in the last hour or so. Like when I first got here, it was it was like completely dead. I mean, I was literally the first one here. I was probably the only one here for the first 30 or 45 minutes. And eventually people started coming in. I wouldn't exactly describe it as crowded, but it is lively. A lot of families, a lot of kids. And once again, we had a crying kid at the show, this time before a bullet was even fired. It was when they were fighting, and they actually pretended to take a chair to the poor young woman that they pulled from the audience, which was really funny. And no, this place is pretty great. It's no Oasis Mini Hollywood. That's clearly the crown jewel of these three Western theme parks, but I would say this is on par with Fort Bravo. You know, the show didn't have the stunts that Fort Bravo had, but the show was still very good. And I mean, I didn't see the Fort Bravo Texas Hollywood show inside the saloon, so I'll admit that I missed some stuff. But in terms of giving me the recognizable sets, and in terms of just like the authenticity, I think this place is great. And like I said, I think this is the best location. This is the neatest surrounding area, I would say. I've been here probably a little over 3 hours. I don't think it's not a full day attraction. I think the only one here that is Oasis Mini Hollywood. But I certainly feel like I got my money's worth. This is about half the price of Fort Bravo, Texas Hollywood, about a third of the price of Oasis Mini Hollywood. So keep that in mind if you're coming. But yeah, this is wonderful. It's just maybe arrive a little later in the day because it is fairly dead around 10 or so when I got here.
With the theme parks out of the way, there were still 2 locations I needed to see, both involving the film For a Few Dollars More. The first one I got quite lucky finding after stumbling upon something on the internet after I thought I recognized something when I was driving.
This is a big one here, folks. We have found the location of the opening scene of For a Few Dollars More. Right over there is where that guy gets shot. And I thought I found this yesterday, but, we're a ways off the road, and so I had to kind of come hiking a bit to get up here, and I only had flip-flops on at the time, so I decided I'd be coming back today, and yes, comparing it with screenshots, this is absolutely the location. Pretty cool stuff. Actually, location-wise, so it's tough to tell from this angle, because it looks like it's fairly flat up until you get to the mountains in the back, but it really isn't. There's like a canyon there, and in that canyon actually is Western Leone, where I was earlier today.
And of course, the beautiful town of Los Albaricoques, which is Spanish for the apricots. It's one of the fabled white towns of Andalucia. It is featured in a few spaghetti westerns, most notably, of course, For a Few Dollars More.
This stretch of road is definitely the entrance to the town of Aguas Calientes in For a Few Dollars More. It's actually interesting because, I'm looking at these buildings here and what they look like in the movie. Obviously the road was just kind of dirt, but I'm wondering if these buildings have been kind of like remodeled, or if they were genuinely just kind of dressed up to look like Western buildings. Pretty neat about Los Albaricoques, or however one says it, in comparison to the theme parks, is this has pretty clear signs, like showing you exactly where scenes were filmed, which I think is kind of neat. And everything really has been For a Few Dollars More. I do think A Fistful of Dollars was filmed here as well. Also, there's a sign up there, but I think we might be in the location of the main shootout with the watch or at the end, or actually it's probably right up there. So let's see. Yes, this is most definitely the location of the final shootout in For a Few Dollars More. It's really awesome, clearly marked by signs, which is much appreciated. Signs are in multiple languages: Italian, German, English, obviously Spanish, French, I believe. The English signs, plenty of typos, which is wonderful. I love seeing that because like they're trying their best. But yeah, pretty special that we found this here. Los Albaricoques is definitely a winner. A lot of stuff here from For a Few Dollars More. Very well marked in terms of signs for everything. Letting you know what scenes were shot where, which I was kind of missing at the Western theme parks. Also, this is a little bit off the radar if you're just going to the Tabernas Desert. Technically, it's not in the Tabernas Desert. It looks pretty much geographically, topographically the same, but it is south and east. So it's a little bit off the radar, but it's still not far. It's 40 kilometers. So yeah, it's definitely worth coming here if you're already planning to go to the Tabernas Desert.
There was also the Museo del Cine located in Almeria, which offered a lot of fun history, costumes, props, things like that from not just the spaghetti westerns, but all sorts of Hollywood films that were filmed out in this area. Just a few final notes as I close out this video. I had an absolutely amazing time in the south of Spain. Of course, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't see. The Sad Hill Cemetery location in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is located in a completely different part of the country. And of course, many spaghetti western films were not shot out in the Tabernas Desert in Spain. Sergio Corbucci, the director of Django and The Great Silence, appears to have preferred shooting in Italy. And of course, Sergio Leone finally got his American dream with Once Upon a Time in the West, which featured some scenes shot in Monument Valley. Additionally, there is so much stuff that I saw that wasn't able to make it into this video. When I was driving out from the desert towards Los Albaricoques, I passed by places that I'm pretty sure were shown all throughout the film A Pistol for Ringo, but I just didn't get pictures or videos of these because I was driving. At any rate, if you are as big a spaghetti western fan as I am, I would highly recommend a trip out to the Tabernas and to Fort Bravo, Oasis Mini Hollywood, and Western Miami.